For the last year or so, we've been always hearing about John Tavares. Where's John Tavares going to go? And one of the speculated spots, landing places for him, has been Montreal. But um, let's get into where the roster is and where it could potentially be going. Jonathan Drouin is signed through 2022-2023 at $5.5 million, after which he'd be UFA. Alex Galchenyuk signed till 2019-2020 at $4.9 million, at which point he'll be a UFA. And Max Pacioretty is signed through next year at $4.5 million. He'll be a UFA at the end of that year. Andrew Shaw, $3.9 million till 2021-2022. Brendan Gallagher, $3.75 million, and a bargain at $3.75 million. I'm going to throw that in there. Till 2021-2022. Paul Byron is signed through the end of next year at $1.16 million till 2018-2019. He's UFA at the end of that. Hemsky's leaving as a UFA. I'm going to speculate that the Montreal fan base and management will agree that getting Hemsky off the books is a good idea. Philip Deneau is an RFA. He's got arbitration rights, and it'll be interesting to see if they overpay Deneau. Deneau had a good year on a bad team. He had a good year. They might overpay him. We'll see what happens. Sherbak is signed at $863K till the end of next year. Arteri Lehkonen, $839K, might be the best value in the league for what he provides. Delorier, $950K till 2019-2020. He just signed that contract near the end of this season. Carr's an RFA with arbitration. De La Rose is an RFA with arbitration. Logan Shaw, RFA with arbitration rights. Houdon at $650K until the end of next year. He's an RFA after that with arbitration rights. And Fraze has $650K on the books next year. And that's the last year of his contract, after which he's an unrestricted free agent. Go ahead and turn that a little bit and try to reduce the glare. It's kind of, there's this ball of gas in the sky that's shining down, and it's really throwing off my videos today. It's throwing me off completely, giving me that Highway to Heaven kind of glow, and I'm not a huge fan. So we've got this up front for Montreal, and yet we've got $18 million in cap space right now, if there's an $80 million cap, which is where people say it's probably going to go. So Deneau will lead into that. Hemsky's gone. Carr, De La Rose, and Logan Shaw might get minor increases in salary, not a lot. So is the room there to sign Tavares? Sure. But I do think they're going to try to move Pacioretty, because he's an unrestricted free agent at the end of next year. Pacioretty has come out and said he will not return to Montreal if he's not the captain. Now, they may have been paraphrasing him. I have a hard time believing that he actually said, if I'm not captain, I'm not playing. Maybe he did. Shea Weber. This is the big, huge, giant weight around their neck contract. Shea Weber signed at $7.857 million till 2025-2026. He has 8 more years left in this contract. 8. Jeff Petrie, $5.5 million till 2020-2021. He's a UFA after that. Carl Alsner, $4.625 million till 2021-2022. David Schlemko at $2.1 million till 2019-2020. Jordy Ben's going into his final year. I could see him getting traded during the summer. He won't have a whole lot of value. Noah Juleson, $863K till 2019-2020. He'll play next year. Victor Mete, who was a huge find, $748K until 2019-2020. That's a huge bargain. And Riley, who was brought in at the deadline, $725K until the end of next year, and then he's a restricted free agent with arbitration rights. So you look at this, and there's some contracts that might be a bit high. Andrew Shaw might be a bit high, but Gallagher's a bargain. Pacioretty's a bargain at $4.5 million for 30 goals. Galchenyuk at $4.9 million, probably high. Drouin at $5.5, probably right about where he should be. Weber is really this albatross contract. But Carey Price, the extension kicks in next year at $10.5 million, and he's signed through 2025-2026. So for the next 8 years, $18 million goes to the combined Carey Price and Shea Weber. It's a lot of money. to two guys who get injured a lot. Niemi's leaving as a UFA, and I say leaving because I can't see them keeping him when Charlie Lindgren signed a 3-year extension at $750K, or 2-year extension on top of what he already had, I think, or maybe it was 3. Either way, $750K, which is a bargain for what he did, till 2020, 2021, after which he's a UFA. Lindgren has agreed to play for Team USA at the IIHF World Championships. I wish him the best. But this is a roster that is kind of patchwork. I said last year going into the summer that the offense wasn't there. When they traded for Drouin, I didn't see the value of losing a Sergachev. You add Sergachev to this blue line, tell me how much better it is. Now, you subtract Drouin, you have a problem up front. But they already had a problem up front. So, to me, I would if Sergachev was in this lineup, I think they would have been better off this year. But still, 29, 40, and 13 is not good enough. I think everybody, Montreal fans or not Montreal fans, can agree that's not good enough. You look in the minors, you got Reichel, who may come up, McCarron, who may come up, Valiev, Foucali's an RFA. I'll be interested to see if they qualify him or if they let him go as a UFA. If they don't qualify him, he goes as an unrestricted free agent. Does Montreal still believe Zach Foucali is going to be a starter in the NHL as they did when they drafted him? That's an interesting question. And further down here, I got Hayden Verbeek and Will Bitton. Verbeek was signed as a free agent last month. We'll see how he performs. But there's no really big key guy. But here's the good news. They have the number 4 spot in the draft lottery. Montreal has an excellent chance at winning the draft lottery. And if they win the draft lottery and they get Rasmus Dahlin over here, and if they can sign John Tavares here, they're in the playoffs next year. I believe that. Because in a good draft, and this year's draft is supposed to be a deep draft, they also have 4 second-round draft picks. 4. They have 5 picks in the first 62. Montreal, not officially saying we're in a rebuild, have got 4 second-round picks. This is why Canuck fans were really angry with Jim Benning at the trade deadline. Because we could see teams like Montreal stocking up draft picks. And it's an exciting time if you're a Montreal fan because of this. So if you're looking for, well, what's our bright shining light? Well, first off, Carey Price at $10.5 million. Is that a lot of money? Absolutely. But when Carey Price is on and when he's healthy, he can be the best goalie in the league. Drouin, do I think he's a number 1 center? No, but I think he's a very good number 2 center. Pacioretty. If Pacioretty gets moved, he'll bring you back more draft picks, more pieces for the future. And Gallagher's a legit 30-goal scorer now. So while the offense is anemic in its depth, at its top, and the potential is there for it to get better. Beyond that, again, you get good value with Lehkonen. Lehkonen was good value for them this year. He went through a bit of a scoring drought at some point, but I do believe 15, 20 goals could be where he ends up. On the blue line, it really comes down to Weber, but Petrie's been solid. I don't know about the signing of Alzner. I didn't know at the time if that was a good idea, but the pairing of Juleson and Mate and what that means for the team going forward, having young, fast defensemen and changing the look of that blue line is really necessary for Montreal. And then if you add a Dahlin at the number 1 spot, if they win the draft lottery, if you add really anything, whether it's one of the forwards, there's some decent forwards in this draft, and by decent I mean excellent forwards, and really Montreal could parlay a couple of those second round picks into a late first rounder if somebody's available in the late first round that they covet. So it is it's a good spot they find themselves in. They would probably want a little more cap space. I know $18 million sounds like a ton, but compared to what a lot of other teams are working with, it's not a ton. And yet, I don't see them being hamstrung by it like, say, Detroit Red Wings. I think it's going to be interesting to follow this team through the draft. I do think that if they can win the draft lottery, and if they do get Tavares, which all Montreal fans have been saying for a while, that's what they want, Tavares, let's get Tavares. If that's a possibility, if John Tavares is willing to sign with Montreal and take probably about $12 million a year. So all that cap space disappears if you sign John Tavares. But for what Tavares brings, which is the number one center that Montreal's needed for a couple of years, it's absolutely worth it. So there you go. There's a little bit of hope from THG here. Let me know your thoughts on where Montreal's been, where Montreal's going, your feelings about who's potentially coming in. I know I didn't hit every prospect, and I don't with these. This is more of a overlook. I look at their depth chart and I go, okay, these guys may make the team next year. But let me know your thoughts on that in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happen upon this video. And I will be getting to every team eventually. This is just my video about the Montreal Canadiens. So thank you very much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.